we were talking a little bit earlier, and you were saying you were watching the Marty Janetty Dark Side of the Ring last night. So you were telling me something interesting. We may as well start there while it's topical.
Well, yeah, while it's topical, I mean, see, and that's the thing. Had I not seen that, I would not have remembered this entire thing. Marty and I were pretty good friends for about a year stretch. And he was living in Tampa. He was working a lot of indie shows. So I was working with him a lot. I was partying with him a lot. So we went to Aruba. Well, before that, 1993 or 4 was the WWF trial where Marty and Sean, the Rockers, broke the guy's neck. Chuck Austin. I was actually at the trial. My old tag team partner had to testify because he had trained with Chuck Austin. So I went with him, and we were sitting back in like a witness room with Gorilla Monsoon for like 3 hours. So I got to pick his brain. You know, here I am, 19-year-old kid, and I'm sitting there locked in a room with Gorilla Monsoon for 3 hours. So it was really cool. That was the day that Shawn Michaels testified, and I'll never forget this because he got done testifying, and there was like a window you could see us and we could see him. And as he passed me and my partner Dennis and Gorilla, he went and kept on going. So I guess he was happy that they didn't want anything to do, so he shot us all a bird, and that was the end of that. But I was there, and that's where Marty Janetty comes in. I was there. So here for this, we're in this stretch in Tampa, and we're friends, and we're partying, and we're wrestling a lot. And we go to a show in Aruba. And thank God we were not roommates. But I remember that I was the first one to find cocaine and ecstasy and everything. I was the first one to find it. And the crazy part is, I met the guy at Carlos and Charlie's in Aruba, where that's exactly where Natalie Holloway disappeared from, the girl in the U.S., Jordan Vandersloot, the whole thing. So I was buying my drugs in Aruba at the same place that she vanished from. So I'm the first one to get the drugs, and it's the first night there. We're all planning to go out and do some things. And somehow I end up just me and Marty Janetty in a hotel room together, sitting across from each other on separate beds, and we have a phone book of cocaine, and we're just talking. And for once, it's like he wasn't MJ, he wasn't all hyped up and doing all that. It was a very serious conversation, and I told him, I said, Marty, in my opinion, again, I wasn't there. But I wasn't there when it happened, but I was at the trial. I saw the video, which they didn't have released at the time. I saw the still boards that they had that the lawyers made with the pictures of it. I said, I saw all that, and it wasn't your fault, Marty. It wasn't your fault. The guy did not take the bump properly. Period. I mean, it sucks. He's a great guy, Chuck Austin. I met him once or twice, but it was just the fact that he just had not been wrestling enough, wasn't wrestling long enough. But that was what they did. WWF back then, late 80s, early 90s, whenever, they would get whoever they could, and they would give you that one spot because they needed fresh people to get beat up. So they would give you that one spot. And like I said last time, you were either good or you were bad. You either that was your spot and you never were seen again, or they brought you back. And he was one of the ones. He probably would have gone there. They would have beat him up, and he never would have come back again because they would have said, "All right, he's really green. Come back in a couple years." Unfortunately, he took a bad bump, and he didn't mean to take a bad bump. Obviously, I think he just really wanted to do the best he could, but he just screwed up. But I know Marty, and you could tell a little bit in that episode that he feels like that was his fault. He carries a lot of guilt from that. And, just as a professional wrestler, looking at everything I saw, that's just how I felt. And that's what I told him. I think that it was completely that guy's fault. And I've taken the rocker dropper from Marty, 20 times. And you take your own bump. It's not like a power bomb from Vader where he can put you wherever in the hell he wants to put you. It's very simple. You go face down. It's one of the first bumps you should learn in wrestling training camp, but it probably should have been gone over better. If I were Marty, I would have probably gone over it better just to make sure he was comfortable with it. But in that position, and I've been in that position, when they're saying, let's do this, are you good? Even if you're not good, you're going to say, yeah, I'm good. Let's go. And you're just going to hope that you don't fuck it up, especially on moves you've never taken before. But, what are you going to say? You're trying to be a wrestler and you got the booker standing there, you're trying to be on TV. You're trying to get your foot in the door and they ask you, can you do this? Can you do that? Are you going to tell them no because you're green? Or are you going to say, fuck yeah, I can do it? Fuck yeah, man, let's do it twice. You're going to say that because you want to come back next week. I mean, Mountain Dew for Bob Cook, if he's watching. It's for you, Bob. Love Bob Cook. But, but back to, it's just sad that it happened. But Marty, we had this great conversation in Aruba, and it lasted about 4 hours. And then we hit the club. And all I remember, Marty found the ecstasy. And I just remember watching him. He wasn't Marty, he was MJ, because there's two people. There's Marty and there's MJ. So he was MJ. And it looked like weird pyrotechnics. Like he was running through the club and he had like vapors behind him. And it might have been the drugs. I don't know. But I mean, he was dancing with so many different women. Every woman in the bar at Carlos and Charlie's, he was dancing with. Every single one. I'd never seen anything like it. And then about 30 minutes later, I've never seen anything like it because he was getting a blowjob on the dance floor. So, again, might have been the drugs. I don't know. But it was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, just, he did not care. And that was amazing.